Now, Chinese President Xi Jinping has hailed China's relationship with African countries on his first visit to the continent and the first trip outside his homeland since assuming office. Mr. Xi arrived in Tanzania, where he met with his counterpart, President Jakaya Kikwete. After talks, the two leaders witnessed the signing of several trade, cultural, and development accords. A key emphasis of his trip is to tell African leaders China will intensify, not weaken, its relationship to the continent. The Chinese leader is scheduled to arrive in Durban, South Africa, Monday to attend the 5th summit of the BRICS grouping of emerging countries on March 26 and 27. The bloc is made up by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now, President Xi will also attend a retreat with African regional leaders, likely to focus on economic and trade issues with the leaders of the resource-rich continent. VOA's South Africa correspondent Anita Powell is covering the BRICS Summit, and she joins us now via phone from Durban. Hello, Anita. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Ndumiyaki.
First, maybe you could start off by telling us about BRICS and how it differs, say, from the G8 plus 5 nations, which also include South Africa, India, and China.
Well, I think the whole point of BRICS is that in some ways it doesn't differ that much. This is a group of countries that has for a long time felt that it hasn't had a say on the world stage, so they formed their own group. But I think the BRICS nations would sort of like to compare themselves to the scrappy group of 5 nations that made an alliance 50, 60 years ago and now rule the world, and they're called the UN Security Council. So BRICS is just an alternative track for countries that have large, sprawling, developing economies and a lot of hope for the future. And so I think that's why this scene right here in Durban, I'm right in the middle of it, surrounded by business leaders and delegates and diplomats, and the scene is really exciting here in Durban.
Now, it's a pretty big deal that BRICS is being held in Africa, because this is the first time that is being held on the African soil. It's 5 years old. Tell us about the significance of this.
Well, South Africa is the youngest and also the smallest member of BRICS, and this is its first time hosting the summit. And so the theme, fittingly, is infrastructure and helping developing countries, which is exactly up Africa's alley. So it's going to give South Africa an opportunity to be the gateway to Africa that it wants to be, and let these other 4 nations interact more with Africa and hopefully boost trade.
Now, President Zuma, of course, who's hosting this current summit, says that the BRICS summit is not just a talk show, that real business takes place, and it has really helped Africa. What can you tell us about some of these gains that President Zuma has been talking about?
Well, I think it's evident when you walk down the street in Durban and every 3 people walking past is a defense contractor or working for one of the major parastatals in one of these 5 countries. There is money exchanging hands here. There is business being done. But in terms of BRICS at the official level, the main achievement of this summit, they hope, is the development of the BRICS Development Bank, which will loan money to other countries for infrastructure projects. And that will put real muscle behind this economic coalition, so they hope.
All right. Well, Anita, we've run out of time, but I'm sure we'll be talking to you again as the summit takes place. Thank you so much. That's Anita Powell. And of course, we'll check back with her during the week as the BRICS meeting gets underway.